you're not used to, this is a really good way to become acquainted with it. What it means is that we do lots of vinyasa. Vinyasa is breath and movement, simply linked. That's all it is. If the flow gets a little complicated for you today, and the pose doesn't feel right, you can always skip it and just hold the previous one. We'll be doing quite a bit of Chaturanga Dandasana, which is a high to low plank, a yogic push-up feel. And if that yogic push-up is not your thing, you can always skip it and come into child's pose or downward facing dog. I'm going to start walking my hands forward. So welcome your flow practice today. Let's start to really find the flow. We have been breathing, but let's match some movement to that. So your vinyasa is starting already. That's just breath and movement linked. I'm going to start walking my hands off to the left, and back to the middle, and fishtailing to the right. Nice and easy. Keep moving in your way. This could be quite fast or quite slow. Your comfort, your need in this flow. Now I'm going to start, instead of fishtailing, I'm going to start threading the needle. So I reach under and thread. I'm not going to stay. I'm going to go to the other side and just go thread through, unthread. Exhale to reach. Inhale to unreach, unthread. And I've got 2 and 1. Coming forward for 30 minutes, we'll do a brief cat and cow. I love cat and cow at the start of a practice, so my middle fingers are running parallel, and I exhale round, inhale, open the heart. I'm keeping my neck kind of following my back as opposed to having kinks in it to lead. I mean, you can hear my breath changes. I don't really want that right now. Exhale, and then the in. Feel free to start adding side bends, maybe a little sassy with the hips. You can roll forward and back. Just make sure if you're doing any of these rotation movements, that you do both directions. Last couple of breaths. Let's get to a downward facing. So one more rotation to match. The other side. I come forward, tuck toes and lift. Walk on the spot. Stretch through the soles of the feet. Mobilizing Achilles. Stretching lower leg muscles, calf specifically. Now let's find stillness right here. The perfect downward facing dog is what feels right for you. This is meant to be a resting pose in the sequence. So how can you make it feel more resting? Today that could mean that you bring your knees down for child's pose if you want to. Otherwise I bend my knees and lift my sit bones and I push back a bit more. On an exhale, I'm going to press my heels in the direction of the ground. I'm definitely not attached to them touching the ground. I'll stay here for 3 breaths. And I switch to Ujjayi breathing. I think you can hear that breathing in and out through the nose with a rasp in the throat. I bend my knees, I look ahead, and I'm just slowly walking ahead, making a game of keeping my hands on the ground. I can bend my knees as much as I need to. Oh, that's a stretch, isn't it? Stay in your fold, keep the hands on the ground, unless it's really uncomfortable. See if you can bring your cheekbones closer to your knee bones. Pull the belly in on an exhale. Cup opposite elbows on the inhale. Exhale, begin to do this kind of side bend sway. It's as though your spine were an elephant's trunk, going side to side. Last 2 breaths. And then release hands to the ground. Slowly come on up. Oh, it feels good, doesn't it? If you're not quite to the front of your mat, you're going to want to go there now. Big toes to touch. Take a big breath in, reach up. You exhale, we're coming down super easy. Easy sun A. Always do your namaskar A. Tuck the chin. Half lift, so hands to shins, elbows pointing back. And then we want to make sure that the half lift is parallel to the ground. So push the chest ahead. And you might need to tuck your chin if you're the type of person that throws your head back a bit, like me. Breath in. Exhale, hands to mat, step back, hold the high plank. And it's whatever your high plank is. Maybe your high plank is here. Most important thing is that elbow and wrist are underneath the shoulder, so pull this back underneath the shoulder. Hold this high plank, push and round your back. Keep that feeling of sucking everything up into your back, up into your lungs, and then push your collarbones ahead. Take a big breath in, shift forward. This could be on knees as well. And as you exhale, come down, hold halfway. So shoulder at elbow depth and freeze. Hold it. It's not easy. You might need to bring your knees down. Hold it. Push against the floor. One more breath. Exhale, we come down all the way. Flatten the feet. Baby Cobra. So push into your feet, which are touching, and lift. Then lift your hands up and do some little hand jive, little wriggling of the fingers. My chin is tucked, so my neck follows the rest of my spine. No kinks. You can hear my voice is unimpeded by that. I bring hands back. So I want to bring them back so that my wrists are underneath my elbows. Give me a forearm stretch. I take a breath in. Exhale, I push up and back, downward facing. Bend the knees to look forward, stepping forward. 1 and 2. Half lift, floor or shins. Breath in every time you come to half lift and fold. Reaching up, rising up. Exhale, diving down. So our flow today is based on a common flow. If you're a yogi, you've done some version of this many times probably. Inhale, half lift. Exhale for Chaturanga Dandasana, so that's back. I'm still exhaling, knees up or down, and I go all the way down on that same exhale. I was talking the whole time, so you know that it was the same exhale. Cobra, inhaling, or if you're ready, you lift the thighs for upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Bend the knees, look forward. Step your right foot in between your hands. If it doesn't get there, use your right hand. Bend the left knee just a little and climb up. So we're in a little lunge. Our flow today is really mobile, kind of ethereally mobile. So I take a big breath in. And as I exhale, I'm twisting to my right. I just do a little twist. Tap the elbow to the kneecap. Inhale up. Exhale, do that 2 more times. Just a little tap. Maybe the elbow goes to the outside of the right knee. Come on. Last time. I'm going to hold my twist. I'm pushing back through the heel behind me, so that should be your left heel pressing behind you. 1 more breath in. And as you exhale, it's warrior 2. So we turn away from the right leg, bring the foot to the floor, and we've got a warrior 2. So warrior 2 is open hipped. It can be high, it can be low. It should feel like everything's opening up, including your heart, including your spirits, including your mind. Stay here. So that ethereally mobile feel comes back in as we weave over, and then back the other way. Go a little deeper with every one. And here's my third. And kind of that's all she wrote. So let's cartwheel through and go through our flow. So that's right leg back, up if you can. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Same thing other side. So left foot steps forward. Come up, take your time. Circle the arms, inhale. Exhale. Elbow towards the kneecap. Just gentle twist. And then take it up. And maybe the elbow comes across the knee this time. A little deeper. Then up. Last time, we hold this one a little longer. Deep into that twist. Push your right heel away. 1 more breath in. As you exhale, warrior 2. Find that depth. Love that depth. Pressing both ankles outwards so that outer bony spur presses away to open you up. Shall we weave? Shall we willow? Reaching and taking it back. Going a little deeper every time, staying deep in the legs too. My last one. And let's go into the flow. Cartwheel it, come through it. Remember, you're doing your flow. Back. And if that's just stepping back to downward facing, hey, great. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the front. Half lift. Forward fold. Reaching. So going a little bit quicker here, should you choose. Diving down. Half lift. Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanas. Upward facing, that is. Adho Mukha Svanas. Downward face. Right foot for the lunge. Breathe in to lift. And then we go exhale into that twist. Elbow take up. Inhale, open up. Straighten up. Exhale, deepen your twist. Third one up. Exhale, go deepest. Inhale, begin to lift. Exhale, warrior two. Willowing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Two. It's a bit of a workout. Three. And then we're coming into floating half moon. So come up tall, reach, and try to hop and lift. So I lift. So maybe your floating half moon is here. Maybe your moon can float a little bit higher. And maybe you can hover your hand over the floor. Keep energizing the left leg. Reach through all of your limbs, right? Powerful. Constant like the moon. One more big breath in. Stay for that exhale for me, please. Then land your foot behind you. Open it up and flow with me. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, downward face. Directly to the other side. Let's go. Left foot. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, twist. Whew. Feel my back muscles working there too. Third time. Inhale, begin to open. Exhale, warrior two. Willow, reach. Sleep. Two. Last one. And then into that floating half moon. So find your place. Up, up, and away. Strong right leg behind. Arms reaching down. You can touch fingers to floor, but see if you can hover above it. How high can you lift your right foot? I can't see you, but you can see me. I do the lift, 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 lift. Shaking, sweating, but loving the play. Everything temporary, we trust in this life. One more breath in and out. Inhale, touch it down, keep inhaling, reach up. Exhale, go through the flow. And back. Bend your knees to look forward. Step or hop to the front and have a seat. Here we go for back bends. I take a big breath in, and I exhale and I come all the way down. Yeah, flow class moves pretty fast in a 30-minute segment. I take hands by my sides, coming into Setu Bandhasana, that's bridge pose. With my heels in line with sit bones, close to me, my lower back flattens. That's exactly how I want it to be. Then I can push into the ground. Heels, toes, the widest parts of my feet, and I lift up. From here you choose. If you want to go into a deeper thoracic back bend, you'll push your chest, you lift and take it up and over, and the ribs will flare. Then you can clasp ankles or clasp hands. Otherwise, stay here. This is also a version of a back bend. Not as deep, but maybe that's what you need today. 3 more. Replenishing breaths now. Those were my 3. I untuck the hands, Untuck the shoulders and I'm rolling all the way down. Before I go into my next back bend, I have the choice to stay here and rest for a bit or lift up into Navasana, into boat pose. So for Navasana, I'm going to curl in and then I roll to lift. I want to make a point of difference between this and teaser. The Navasana I'm looking for today is a straight back. So you're looking up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. But maybe you're here, maybe feet are down, maybe you're coming a little bit more, a little bit higher. Maybe you're not so much a boat as you are, I don't know, a yacht, classy. Hold it, feel the shakes. Should be a challenge to keep lifting the heart, maybe even lifting your spirits. We can do it. Last breath in, and then exhale down, slowly and shakily. Second bridge, you can opt out and just lie. You can do bridges we did before, or come into the full back bend with me. If you've never done full back bend or been taught face to face, I wouldn't do a full back bend in this environment. That's my suggestion. So if you know full back bend, do it. Otherwise, go into bridges we did before. So those who are in the full back bend with me, there was no instruction there because you should know how to do it. Please take it back a notch. This doesn't feel right. 2 more breaths, everybody. Restorative on the way. So I come down so slowly. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together. I take left hand on top of heart, like literally on top of heart, so just that little bit to the left. Right hand on navel center. That back bend is just so full of energy. It's really intoxicating in a good way. It can sometimes overpower. So I'm going to have a couple of breaths. Slow the mind. For our restorative section, we kind of want to channel that part of ourselves that is water. And there's a lot of water in us. It shouldn't be too hard to channel. Last breath for me. And coming to a seated position, I'm just going to bring my knees together, hug them in, lift my head, give myself a bit of a hug. I can't resist a bit of a rock. And then just coming up to a seated position. So coming into more of a butt stretch. So stretching some of those muscles that supported us in that flow. Warrior 2 and lunge. Keep your right foot in front of you and just swing your left leg back. 90-90 is the start of pigeon. So if your hips feel a little unyielding, stay here. Otherwise, pull your right toes back, hands in front. You lift and you slide the leg back. Ideally, you've got the top of the foot flat and in line with your hips. So take a look and just see that it's there. Then deepen your right hip crease. So you can see I'm kind of listing over towards my open side. That's my instructor left. I'm going to pull that back. And I have a much deeper hip crease and a deeper butt stretch. Then I am going to come down, but I want to make sure that my energy and my weight is pushing back. So I'm flowing backwards, flowing in the metaphorical sense. So I come down. You can see that here I start to come forward. That's not what I'm about. I want to make sure that I'm staying back. Sending energy, sending intent from my heart down through the spine to the hips, and especially along the left leg and toes. If you love this shape and you're in a lovely quiet place, well, there's a lot of love there, so please stay in that place. But if, like me, you like to play around with things, tinker a little bit, then come into a bit of a twist with me. I'm twisting towards my left first, the open side, away from that front leg. And I'm just going to move in this twist. This is good. You can also bring tricep to floor, hands in Anjali Mudra in prayer, and then using a bit of arm strength, lift yourself too. And wow. I'm going to breathe here for 2. And now I'm going to the other side, so I just take this twist apart, cross. Ooh, that's twisting to the other side. However you twist it, twist again. Oh, this feels really nice actually. I don't know if I need to replicate it completely. My abdominals need to lift to support me in my twist even more on this side. Last 2 breaths. And I'm releasing that. And all I'm going to do to get to the other side is I bring my right butt cheek down and I just flow over to the other side. 90-90 first. 2 different hips. 2 different hips, I'll just leave it there, right? Who knows, you could be really, really flexible in that one, or this one could be very mobile. And this one, a little less. Choose your version of this. If you stayed here, you can stay. Otherwise, come into Pigeon. Kind of an iconic yoga shape, isn't it? Deep in the left hip crease. I don't even know if I'm lying down for this one. This is a very challenging pose for me. So if you feel the challenge here, you are not alone. Think about sending energy down the right leg behind you. And keep grounded in the hips. You've given the energy the direction, and so it can just flow in that direction. If you came into those twists, the first is a twist to the right. So elbow down or hands, could be up here if you did this last time. To that twist. And continue to pull your left toes back. So really what supports everything from the toes on up to the hip. Side. Ooh. Make your way slowly, as if you need to be told that, right? Last breath in and out. And let the twist slowly, very slowly, unravel. Grab your seat. Bring the feet down and windscreen wiper side to side. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And we did frog pose last week. I want to do it again simply because we were doing a lot of work with our team in class to stabilize ourselves in lunge. They actually do work to stabilize. So let's swing the feet around. Please add extra padding to your knees if indeed you need that. And take the knees wide, flex the feet. This is a great frog pose. So if you have a history of any groin injuries, anything like that, maybe this is all you do. And if it feels like this is even too much, you go back to where we started the class and come back to Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, and you can just stay here and breathe, flutter the knees, or don't. For the rest of us going into frog, you might already be in your frog shape. Make sure that the feet are flexed, so that's toes pulling back. And let's come on down. Strengthen the center of your body. So if you're dumping your ribs down to the ground, pull them in, and then push the butt back a bit. Let's be here for about 5, well not about, let's be definitively 5 breaths. First breath. And I slowly kind of walk my elbows forward. I climb up. Take your time bringing toes together and also bring the knees together. Now, if you don't have time to stay for real, well, we've got about 5 minutes, so let's come into a bit of a relaxation. Please come into a position that soothes you. Maybe this is it, maybe cross-legged or lying on your back. I'm just going to sit cross-legged. We're going to go through a relaxation of the body bit by bit, starting with feet, or the extremities, feet and hands, and then going through the middle. You could always mute me if you want to have complete quiet. You could even leave the live stream if you're finished. Otherwise, let's just come to the mat and be in that soothing space. Feel free to give things a wriggle and then close down the eyes. Switch the Ujjayi breathing off. So we breathe out deep into the diaphragm, diaphragmatic breath. You can sigh out through the mouth as well. And so with each successive exhale, we're going to let a little part of our body kind of float away. I will not bore you with going through every single part. I think that we can all figure that out for ourselves, but I'll start us off. So let's start wriggling fingers and toes, moving through maybe even wrists and through ankles a bit. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let them go. And without wriggles, moving to forearm and to the lower leg. Breathe in. And let them go. They helped us when we were on our hands, on our feet. I'll do upper arm and thigh with you, and then I'll let you work through the rest of the body. So upper arm and full thigh, right? I mean, our legs do so much for us. We love them, we treasure them. On an exhale, just let it be. I'll leave you for a few minutes so you can go through the rest of your body yourself. I'll bring us back in just a little while. If you have the luxury of being able to have a longer relaxation and you want to avail of that luxury, please tune me out. This live stream will end. We'll have a quiet ending. And I hope to see you on Thursday. But for the rest of us who need to have some help getting back into the real world, well, not just the real world, but the off the mat world, then let's start wriggling fingers and toes. And then letting the movements grow just through happenstance. When you feel that you wish to come to a seated position, if you do, then please do. There's no hurry here. I cannot see you. I don't need to see you. And you just take your time. If you're already into that seated position, then please bring your hands to heart center. Tilt the chin.